when the monument was completed, there was a missing part. And one of the survivors that looked at the monument said, we have to have two flags, the Israeli flag and the American flag. So they erected two flagpoles, and we have the American flag and the Israeli flag. Every year for this event, the founder of Kol Israel Foundation, Mr. Mike Fromm, used to take the time and hang those flags, put them on the post. If you don't know, Mike Fromm passed away a few months ago. He was the founder of Kol Israel Foundation, and we all miss him, miss many of the survivors, but his partnership with Mori Malzmacher is the one that is responsible for that flag, the flags, the monument, and now that historical marker. So, Mike, you're not with us in present, but we all think about you. Now it's my honor to call a third-generation member of Kol Israel Foundation, Josh Kramer. He's the grandson of Mori Malzmacher that had the idea of erecting that monument. Josh will conduct the candle lighting ceremony.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for being here. Dr. Jeff Silver lights the first candle. Jeff is the son of Leo and Paula Silberman. Leo is a past president of the Kol Israel Foundation. Leo was born in Poland and placed into forced labor by the Nazis for much of the war. He was made to use Jewish tombstones to pave the streets of the Plaszow concentration camp, worked in an ammunition factory, and later cleared rubble in German towns. Leo was pulled from a group of Jewish prisoners, beaten and left behind, which allowed him to blend in with a group of non-Jewish prisoners being transferred to Theresienstadt concentration camp. There he was liberated on May 10, 1945. After the war, Leo attempted to smuggle himself into Palestine, but was caught and sent to a displaced persons camp. There he met his future wife, Paula. The two immigrated to America in 1949 and settled in Cleveland in 1951. The Silbermans have three grandchildren, and 8 great-grandchildren. Ruth Barna and Helen Cincinnatus light the second candle. Ruth is Helen's daughter and the daughter of Morris Cincinnatus of blessed memory. Both Helen and Morris were active members of Kol Israel Foundation. Helen was born in Kłobuck, Poland, and before the war lived with her parents, 4 sisters, and 3 brothers. Helen was deported to Auschwitz-Birkenau and was separated from her family by Dr. Mengele in the daily selections. Of her immediate family, only Helen and 1 brother survived the war. After 3 years in Auschwitz, Helen was sent on a death march and then liberated in Ravensbrück, Germany. In Germany, Helen met Morris, who survived several concentration camps but lost his parents, 2 sisters, his wife, and child. Morris and Helen were married while still in Germany, where Ruth was born. The family of 3 moved to Israel in 1949, where Ruth's brother Jerry was born, before the family moved to Cleveland in 1956. Helen has 5 grandchildren and 7 great-grandchildren. Paula Stevens lights the third candle. Paula is the daughter of George and Regina Schoenberg of blessed memory. George was a founding member and a board member of the Kol Israel Foundation. George was born in Warsaw, Poland in 1914. He was confined in the Warsaw Ghetto in 1941 and sent to various labor camps before spending 18 months in Auschwitz. He was part of a death march which included 500 Jewish prisoners and survived the march with only 31 others. George was liberated in May 1945. George met and married Regina that same year while searching for surviving family in Poland. Regina, the only of her 7 siblings to survive the war, urged George to relocate to Cleveland, where she knew she had family. The 2 immigrated in 1949. George and Regina have 3 grandchildren and 7 great-grandchildren. Ruth Gordon lights the 4th candle. Ruth is the daughter of Sally and Leon Berggren of blessed memory, who were instrumental in the formation of Kol Israel and the sisterhood. Leon was a past president of Kol Israel. Leon was imprisoned and liberated from Mauthausen concentration camp. Sally was liberated from Auschwitz concentration camp. Leon and Sally were introduced to each other and married in Feldafing displaced persons camp after the war. They came to the United States in 1949. In Feldafing, the Bergerons made many lifelong friends who also made their way to Cleveland. The Bergerons had 3 children, 7 grandchildren, and 5 great-grandchildren. Fred and Lily Dunstock light the 5th candle. Fred is Lily's son, and also the son of Henry Dunstock of blessed memory, both members of Kol Israel. Lily was born near Ruslan, Poland in 1926. When the Nazis took over, Lily and her sister were sent from home to work with Poles in German factories where they assumed Catholic identities. They worked for a factory in Germany before being discovered as Jews and sent to Auschwitz, where they were placed in forced labor for several years. Lily and her sister were liberated after escaping from a death march and hiding in a farm until Allied forces arrived. In Germany, Lily met and married Henry Dunstock, who survived the war by escaping from Poland to Russia, where he worked as a shoemaker. Lily and Henry moved to Cleveland in 1949. Lily and Henry have 3 children, 7 grandchildren, and 3 great-grandchildren. Kelly Millstone and Nikki Lustig light the 6th candle. Kelly and Nikki are the daughters of Paul and Lee Cooper of blessed memory. Paul and his wife were founding members of Kol Israel, Paul having served as president. Paul was born in Brussels, Belgium in 1933. Unlike all of his immediate family, Paul was not summoned for deportation to the camps, and after being left alone, he hid with a non-Jewish family friend, Celine Sin, and assumed a Catholic identity. He was discovered by the Gestapo in 1943 and sent to a work camp for children until he was liberated. He immigrated to the United States on his 21st birthday. Paul joined the U.S. Army and served overseas in Germany. He met and married Lee, also a Holocaust survivor from Brussels. Paul and Lee have 4 daughters and 13 grandchildren. The 7th candle is lit by 4th-generation descendants of Holocaust survivors. Cameron and Jackson Hurwitz are the great-grandchildren of survivors Ruth Niebel Frum, Ben Niebel of blessed memory, Armin Jacob, and Elizabeth Jacob of blessed memory. Ruth Niebel Frum survived a concentration camp and lost more than 100 relatives in the Holocaust. She survived with her parents, a sister, and a first cousin. Ben Niebel was in 5 different camps, including Auschwitz. Elizabeth Jacob survived numerous forced labor camps only because she was a strong teenager who the Germans used to help build roads for their war effort and atrocities. Armin Jacob recently turned 95 years old. During the war, he was a prisoner in Russia. There, he nearly starved to death and was one of only a few fellow inmates who survived. Armin and Elizabeth Jacob have 5 grandchildren and 10 great-grandchildren. Ben and Ruth Niebel have 8 grandchildren and 9 great-grandchildren. Cameron and Jackson are creating a new network of 4th-generation descendants of Holocaust survivors as a part of their B'nai Mitzvah project to raise money for Kol Israel Foundation. This year, we have lost many precious survivors and members of Kol Israel Foundation. We admire their courage in life, dedication to the cause of remembrance and education, and mourn their loss with their families as their numbers dwindle. We pledge to always remember you. Thank you.
Thank you.